Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is now in session. Court is back in session in two cases, cause numbers 23 CCCR 1858 and cause number M326770. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Christy Laurie Johnson. Ms. Johnson, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Johnson, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Johnson, do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Johnson, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Johnson?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Ms. Johnson, you're represented in your case on your cases by your attorney Don Boudreaux. Attorney Boudreaux, how are you doing?
Just fine, sir.
And Mr. Boudreaux, do you waive a record in Ms. Johnson's cases?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Johnson, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information alleges that, well, it was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office, and it alleges that on or about March 8th of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offensive theft. Ms. Johnson, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Ms. Johnson, in cause number M326770, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
Guilty, sir.
Now, you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Johnson, I also have another document before me that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. It's also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials on the line next to a box that says check guilty. You place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes.
And on the next document that is titled Trial Court Certification, the Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
At the top of this document, there are two boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
I also have a document before me that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Mr. Boudreaux, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir. You did.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Johnson, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
State, I have. Okay, any objections?
No, sir.
No objections. State's exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Boudreaux, you've advised and counseled Ms. Johnson. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir.
And Ms. Johnson, your attorney, Mr. Boudreaux, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Johnson, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
For a plea of guilty, the state has offered 8 days time served. Court calls sex from charge in this case and to dismiss the bill ID case.
Okay, Ms. Johnson, the state is offering that you serve 8 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not be required to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail because you've already served 8 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you've already served. The court costs in this case will be taxed and retired. That simply means that you will not be required to pay the court costs because the time that you've spent in jail has already paid it off. And the companion case, cause number 23CCCR1858, will be dismissed as part of this plea bargain. Ms. Johnson, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Johnson, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Ms. Johnson, you're going to stand in front of our court coordinator, follow her directions. Once you finish following her directions, and the bailiff's directions. You'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Jefferson County Court at law number 2 is back in session. Court is in session. And calls numbers 23-CCCR 0402, calls number 23-CCCR 2452, and calls number 23-CCCR 2611. Both case, but all three cases of style. The state of Texas versus Joshua Jamon Thomas. Joshua Jamon Thomas was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. for the court's announcement docket. At or about 9 a.m., the court's bailiff called the name of Joshua Thomas at the courthouse door. Joshua Thomas did not answer. Joshua Thomas has not appeared in court since the court has been in session. The time now is 11:46 a.m. on today's date, February 16th of 2024. Ms. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Joshua Thomas at the courthouse door? Sir?
Joshua Thomas. Joshua Thomas.
Okay, Joshua Thomas' name was just called at the courthouse door by the court's bailiff. Joshua Thomas did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Thomas an opportunity to appear in court. He has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion in each one of these cases? Those motions will be granted. Joshua Thomas bonds will be forfeited, and a warrant should be issued for his arrest in cause numbers 23-CCCR 0402, cause number 23-CCCR 2452, cause number 23-CCCR 2611. And this will conclude the calling of the court's announcement docket on today's date of February 16, 2024, in County Court at Law number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas. Judge Terrence Holmes presiding. Prosecutors, you excuse.